according to this Axios Ipsos poll, quote, a majority of Republicans still think that Trump was right to challenge his election loss. A majority of Republicans still support Trump. A majority of Republicans do not blame him for the Capitol mob. A majority of Republicans want him to be the Republican nominee in 2024. And then Axios explains why it matters to them. They say, why it matters, the survey shows why Trump could run again in 2024 and possibly win if he isn't convicted or banned from holding federal office by the Senate. There we have the purpose of the Axios chart and their story. They're saying, my God, this guy Trump has survived everything we've thrown at him, and these idiot Republican voters would elect him again. Oh, my God, we got to convict this guy so he can't run again. But they're not going to have time to do it, according to Professor Dershowitz. Now, the Axios poll divides the GOP into Trump supporters and traditional Republicans. 36% in this story are identified as Trump Republicans, 56% as traditional Republicans. What is a traditional Republican? A Romney? McCain? That's what they want us to believe? The poll claims that 62% of Republicans overall think Trump was right to contest the election results, and an even higher 69% don't blame him for the violence at the Capitol. The poll found very little appetite for removing Trump, and among Trump supporters, only 1% favor removing him. What? Now, this is a poll of Republicans, but what this tells me is that Trump is not in any danger whatsoever of being cut loose or abandoned by his supporters. In fact, it may just be the opposite. It may be that the ties that bind Trump supporters to Trump are stronger than they've ever been. I would not be surprised if that's the case. Look at this. 92% of Trump supporters want to see him run again in 2024. Only 41% of traditional Republicans, i.e. the Romneys, want him to run. That's still a pretty big number. So Republican voters would choose Trump again. They think Trump was right to challenge his election loss. Now, what does all of this mean as we analyze it further? Well, that's why I'm here, and I will tell you. It's very simple. And while it's simple, it's powerful. Donald Trump cannot be separated from his policies and successes. This is among his supporters. And even among his detractors. They're trying. They're trying to separate Trump from his supporters. They can't. And that's why he can't be separated from his supporters, because he can't be separated from his policies and, more importantly, his successes. Calling Trump a traitor and accusing him of inciting an insurrection flies in the face of who and what Trump is. It flies in the face of what Trump supporters believe him to be. You see, folks, Donald Trump supporters have no doubt Donald Trump is a patriot. He is, in fact, if there is such a thing, a super patriot. There's nobody in elected politics who is seen as loving his country any more than Donald Trump does. And I might add that there are quite a few people in elected politics who are not seen as patriotic at all, who are not seen as people who love their country. There are more and more people in elective politics, particularly on the Democrat Party side, who think America is the problem in the world. Donald Trump supporters know, I mean, it is a powerful thing to consider him a patriot, a patriot above all else. He rebuilt the military. He rebuilt the borders. He rebuilt the economy. He rebuilt trust in law enforcement. His actions, not his words, but they're powerful too, his actions define him. Just like social media is defined by grotesque attacks on speech, Trump's actions defined him. Trump's achievements define him. Trump's accomplishments, his efforts, define him. Washington Republicans think Romney, McCain, et al. They can't convince Trump supporters to abandon Trump. Why? Because Trump's policies are part of the bond. And I've been talking about this bond that Trump has with his supporters since 2016. I am certain I was the first to see it. I think I saw it before Trump and his people did. Trump is the only body, the only person who can break the bond. Nobody else created it. The media didn't create the bond. Trump did. Only Trump can ruin himself, and he hasn't. He hadn't even come close, folks. Donald Trump is as conservative as his supporters. Washington Republicans do not share the policy preferences of vast majority Republican voters, and that's just the way it is. Trump delivered on his promises. Washington Republicans run from theirs.